G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Armored Battle Crew World War One. So, what the hell is this, you may be asking? Well, Armored Battle Crew World War One is quite literally bomber crew in World War One tanks. So, let's go in and take a look. So, welcome to the Hangar. Now, we're not going to spend a huge amount of time in here because large sections of this are not actually functional at this point. The game itself is currently in alpha. Now, as you can see at the top, we cannot even look at the armor at the moment, although as I understand it, the entire tank's armor layout will be customizable in the long run, and we can't change the paint job. But we can take a look at the arsenal. Now, the arsenal is, well, this may look a little familiar to you if you've taken a look at Bomber Crew. Essentially what we're looking at here is the layout of all the weapons inside of the tank. So we've got Vickers MGs at the front, sides and rear, 4 of them in total, and we have 2 6-pounder main cannons. These are customizable, although as you can see most of the weapons are currently locked. We only have the option of the 6-pounder or the 3-pounder for the side cannons. You can fit in some heavy MGs. There will be the option for flamethrowers. And each weapon, of course, comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. For example, the 3-pounder has higher levels of penetration on its AP shells, making it a better anti-tank gun. The 6-pounder has lower penetration, but does throw a much larger shell, and it does have some nice options in regards to shrapnel and fragmentation shells that can be used to essentially grenade down enemy lines. The tanks will be going against infantry in this game, after all. The same applies with the machine guns. For example, the Vickers MG has a 100-round magazine, but it takes 12 seconds to reload and has a maximum range of 70 meters. It also currently carries 2 magazines with the gun. However, the 1914 MG, while only having a magazine size of 30, does carry 9 reloads at the gun and only takes 3 seconds to reload while having a 75 meter range. Now, the size of the magazines and the number of spare magazines carried at the gun is actually rather important because your gunners will just continually fire until they burn out of ammunition, and that's where the storage bins down the back of the tank come in. There's 4, 2 on each side of the tank. Now, the 2 on the left-hand side of the tank are carrying ammunition for the machine guns. Doesn't matter which combination of machine guns we have, the ammunition is pulled out of those bins. The large one on the right-hand side marked with the single shell icon is ammunition for the main cannons, and the one behind it is obviously medical supplies. And in the center we have the radio. Now the radio has a couple of options. When it's manned, essentially it allows you to spend command points that you'll earn during the match to call in special abilities such as artillery strikes, so on and so forth. Now you can't modify the engine, you can't modify the fuel tanks, but essentially what you can do here is customize the tank to whatever particular setup that you would like in order to be able to complete your missions. Now, probably the last thing to go through here, and it's something I should have mentioned just a moment ago, the bins at the back of the tank that carry the spare ammunition for all of the cannons and all of the guns, those bins are not unlimited. You can drain them empty over time if you rely on them for constant reloads in heavy firefights for too long without backing off to a resupply point. So there is a tactics management here. It's not like the crew has access to unlimited ammo. They can run out of their stores as well. Anyways, the tank crew. Now, the tank crew setup page is actually pretty straightforward. You have 6 slots down the left-hand side. You have to select 6 people to actually man them. Each person comes with a little bit of a unique look to give them a bit of personality, and also comes with a bunch of positive and negative perks and traits. Or at least the alpha crew options do. I fully expect in the campaign mode, once this actually comes out, that the crew members that you get access to may have 1 or 2 particular perks unique to them, but for the most part they're going to be green rookies that you're going to have to train up. But anyways, let's go check out a battle. So the current battles that are available in-game are essentially a skirmish mode, and you get a basic briefing at the beginning of the match to explain to you what you're up to. Now, it's pretty straightforward. The match goes for 30 minutes or 500 points. Currently, the 500-point end cap doesn't actually seem to work, and the objective is to capture point A and point B. They're your primary objectives. However, there is a little bit of a catch here in comparison to what you may used to. You can't capture A or B. You're a tank. Specifically a World War I tank, an infantry support tank. Your job is not to capture these points, Your job is to clear these points and open the doors so that the infantry, which will start marching out at about 15 minutes through the match, are able to get into the cap circles themselves and capture the circle. You'll also get a couple of bonus objectives: destroy 30 barbed wire blockades that prevent infantry from moving forward. The higher difficulty levels you select, the more of these will be required to be destroyed, and you just simply run over them in order to be able to get those. And somewhere hidden on the map is an artillery piece, which will bombard the crap out of you for the entire match. You have to find it and destroy it as well. These are not required in order to complete the battle, but they do give some pretty good bonus points. So as you saw, I just move the troops around the inside of the tank. I can do that at any time while driving. Driving the tank itself is WA, S and D. Pretty much the same controls as you would have to use in War Thunder or World of Tanks. However, there is one difference. You do not have any direct control over the guns. You can tell your gunners exactly what you want them to engage, tell them to fire on infantry or only fire on tanks, or to fire only on hardened targets, or any combination of these you choose via the menus, but you cannot tell them what to shoot at. The gunners will assign their priorities on their own. You can, however, see their arcs of fire and see what they're aiming at, and learn to, in order to be able to position the tank in a way that will make them more efficient at this. So this is one of the first little mini bases we're going to capture. It will just give us some command points that we'll need, and as we can see, the guns are already starting to open up. We've got enemy troops coming in. Now, as I select the gunners here, you can see in the bottom right hand corner, target, infantry, soft, hard, and air. I've just set the left-hand gunner with the 3-pounder, the high penetration gun, to hardened targets only. It's going to be my anti-armor gun, while I am going to select HE rounds and just leave the 6-pounder on general engagement. The idea is the 6-pounder will shell HE at groups of infantry and destroy them, while the 3-pounder will only engage enemy tanks or hardened enemy positions, which is exactly what's going on here. We've got a tank coming up on our left-hand side, 3-pounder is starting to fire. So move the Mark 5 into a position to engage. Now it is better if we can get around the side. The exact armor models, as I showed before in the menus, are not viewable at this point, but it's pretty safe to say that the hardest armor on this thing will be at the front, and you will get more reliable penetrations from the side. And we do have infantry support moving up with the tanks as well, not to mention we've got infantry coming off the right. Now infantry rifle fire can occasionally penetrate the view slots in the tank and will do injuries and potentially damage guns, but it's generally not fatal. What gets really nasty is when they start tossing anti-tank grenades, sticky bombs and the like. That can do a lot of damage very quickly. Now, as you can see here, I've just pulled the guy off the 6-pounder on the right hand side. He wasn't necessary at this particular moment. I've taken out the tank. I had him running ammunition up to the forward gunners that are engaging the troops in the next position that we're trying to take. Now the next little mini base is a repair base. Once we have control of that, we can come back to it at any time, and it will speed up the repair process for internal components of the tank if they're damaged, but will also reload the ammunition bins at the back of the tank. This is how you prevent yourself from coming out of ammunition. If you're running through in a big engagement and you're running out of bullets and you're running out of shells, you need to get back to a repair point to restock the vehicle. Now we don't actually have to stay here particularly long. And our right hand side guns just ran out of ammunition, so we're just grabbing some new stuff. But as I was saying, we don't actually have to stay in this circle for particularly long. We only have to stay in this circle for just long enough to cap it and to clear it so we can get into it easily later on in the match if we need to. Now, we've got two types of traps here. The large posts out of the ground are obviously tank traps. They're a pain in the ass. They will slow you down. You've just got to sort of grind the tank against them until they break. The barbed wire will hold up the tank very slightly, but not for very long. It'll collapse fairly quickly. That's what we've got to destroy so the infantry can get through, and going this way first opens up a path in order to be able to escape. And there's hand grenades going against the tank. One of the sticky bombs just lit the internal ammo stores on fire, so I have to deal with that before it explodes. Now I'm using the left-hand side main 3-pounder gunner here because that is currently set as anti-armor and there is no tanks in front of us. Now the red smoke there is a smoke marker for the artillery. that's indication that artillery shots are about to start coming in on the tank, so it's time to move. And that's actually going to be our next objective. You can work out roughly where the artillery is based on the direction that the shells are coming in from. And once you've managed to work that out, if you can slip around between everything else, get up there and take out the artillery, and then come back and flank B and A in order to be able to clear them out ahead of time. At this point, we're still 9 minutes and 44 seconds before reinforcements are going to be arriving to start capturing bases, so we have a bit of time to clear here. So it only took us a couple of minutes to work our way around the A cap and get up to the next star. We picked up the next repair point on the way through as well, so we've got 2 of those secured. And we're now securing a downed German biplane that's just ahead of where I reckon the artillery is. And there it is, we can just see the artillery through the trees. And our 3-pounder is already engaging the target. At this point, we're too close for the artillery to be able to accurately hit us, although once we clear this ridge, it will be able to just derp us. So we're going to be driving around the outside of it and putting shots into the sides. And it's starting to turn towards us, so we want to turn around the outside. And there we go. So that is the artillery taken out. At this point, we can now begin to make our way back to the back of B cap and clear our way into the circle, start clearing out the defenders from the inside, and then start moving towards A. 5 minutes until the troops arrive. So at this point, we're a little under 2 minutes before the infantry start moving in, and we're just beginning our assault on the rear of B. And by this point, I'm pretty sure you'll have a fairly good idea of exactly what the gameplay is like. This is a management game, much like Bomber Crew. However, it is a little bit more involved. You do directly take charge of the driving of the tank. It's up to you to maneuver the tank through the battlefield manually, while also simultaneously moving the crew members around the inside, dealing with the damage that can potentially happen to the tank, calling in using support systems, making sure the guns are reloaded, repairing the engines when it fails, repairing any damage to the tracks when they fail, repairing the guns themselves when they fail, assisting crew members when they're injured or in the process of dying to make sure that they stay alive, and also constantly making sure that all of your gunners have an optimal field of fire to engage whatever threats are coming in at whatever times. And once the infantry start rolling out onto the map as well, things get even more complex, so you've got to make sure that you don't accidentally run over your own troops, and you are also providing fire support at the locations that you are needed to be at in order for them to take the objectives on the map, because, well, they can't take the objectives on their own. Now, the one threat that doesn't appear to be in the little alpha demo that is currently available on Steam is the air crews. It's clear if you look at the weapons options that you can have your gunners engage air targets. Now, while that may be a tad unrealistic, it's a cartoon management game, who really cares? What it does do is tells us that there is probably going to be enemy aircraft, they are going to be coming in to strafe down your position, they're going to be coming in to bomb you. And it's entirely possible that it may also be allied aircraft that you'll be able to call in to provide assistance inside of the area. Now, is the game going to have other tanks besides the Mk.II? I'm honestly not sure at this point in time. I haven't read anything up on that, but the game does have what looks to be a proper, hangar for tanks in order to be able to refit them and to select new options. So I'd have to make the assumption that, yeah, there would probably be some other tanks that would be available. As to what those potential new tanks could be, I have absolutely no idea, but I'd be damn interested in finding out. So anyways, ladies and gents, this is Armoured Battle Crew. Now, currently there is only this one map with 3 difficulty levels and a couple of weather options available on it. It is not actually available in early access at this moment. It does have a page on Steam that you can search up and you can wishlist if you're interested in following its development. It is not currently available in an early access format, and there is no release date for it yet. But it is an in development in alpha game, hopefully we'll see a little bit more of this in the future as it progresses. So at this point in the battle, the British infantry has just arrived and they've just captured the A cap and they're moving along to our position. So they're about to give us a little bit of support while we're doing our best at the moment to keep the German infantry from trying to retake A and keeping the enemy tanks under control that are trying to advance as well. And here come our boys now. Anyways, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the look of this game so far. Is it something you'd be interested in? Once it's further along in development, is it something that you'd be interested in seeing more of on the channel? And until next time, remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more. And as always, take care.